internet became the #1 place to get your Christianity in America. God TV blew up, and other churches began to appear on platforms like YouTube. It was this ability to reach new, large and enthusiastic audiences that inspired Brandon to create his own media ministry.
There's a media...
You know, according to this video, getting drunk on God, which somebody pointed this one out to me, and nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing. I did my video yesterday with the clown. That didn't really go over the way I wanted, but I wasn't going to delete it because it was a lot of work. Getting all that makeup on, it was a lot of work. So it's there, it looks ridiculous, but you know, if somebody gleans a little bit of meaning out of it, yay. The point of it was, I hate clowns. When I was little, I mean, not just clowns, but people in stuffed animal costumes. Like if you go to Disneyland and Dopey comes running up to you, anything like that. Even as an adult, I went with a kids' party to Chuck E. Cheese's, and Chuck E. Cheese came toward me, and I was like, I have a fear of things like this. They just really feel evil to me. And so the point of the God clown was, you know, there's this false face that, you know, Christians give God, but behind that false face is a malevolent evil, you know, lurking. You know, this is how I was trying to portray God like I think of clowns, you know. They've got that shiny, whatever, happy, smiley, harmless exterior, but beneath that, the veneer of the false front, yeah. Evil dwells. Yeah, it would have been better if I could have gotten that across, but I presented that as I am God the clown, and he wouldn't say, and I'm evil too. Wouldn't work. So it didn't work. Anyway, now this video about the drunks getting drunk for God, and talks about churches moving onto the internet, especially YouTube. I'm sorry, but all I can say is we gotta turn up the heat. I've been a little bit more forceful on my channel since I saw this video. I will not tolerate, excuse me, I will not tolerate preaching on my channel. I will not tolerate people coming to my channel and talking about this wonderful God who gives us free will. You know, if you want to preach, do it elsewhere. Do not do it on my channel. I'm sorry. I do not allow this on my channel. No platforming, no preaching, no spreading the poison further on my channel. I am tired of having to say the same things over and over, and yet that's the position atheists are put in, because people come to their channels spouting off the same bullshit over and over and over. The latest one was, oh, God gives us free will. I'm like, you know, here we go again. You know, if it's not this one, it's the Hitler one or the Stalin one. You know, oh, you have no morals. Oh, that's not the right Christianity. Your Christianity wasn't the real one. God did give, there's no, you know, before you say things like God gave us free will, you have to demonstrate that there is a God, that this thing exists that you talk about so offhandedly, like it's just such a given that he exists, you know. And then again, once you get the proof out there that this God exists, which nobody has done yet, you need to show us why we should worship it. Because the Old Testament, which is kind of like a little journal that God kept of all the evil that he committed, you need to explain to us why we should worship him, or whatever. I like to say it, because, you know, if it exists, I think of it as a monster, a nightmare, you know? Yeah, why should we, if it exists, and you know, you gotta prove it, why should we worship that? Why should we bend our knee to a thing that commits mass genocide? Why does it deserve praising after the atrocities against humankind it committed? Why? Why would you worship that? I would not shake Hitler's hand. There was that saying that I say. I would not shake Hitler's hand. Why would I worship that God? And then, oh, well, God gave us free will. You have not established, you have not knocked down my first two problems with this God first. You have not shown it exists. You do not show it's worthy of my worship. And then you throw out, God gave us free will like it's a fact. It's not a fact. It's something that a book says. It's a book. You have not demonstrated that the book is inspired by this God that you have not proven or shown deserves my worship. So you're saying, oh, well, it says in this book that God gives us free will, and you say it like it's a fucking given. You know? No, it's not a given. It's what a book says. Harry Potter can summon a God, I can never think of this word when I want to, the thing, yes. You know, I can never, and I enjoy those movies, and I can't think of it. His is a stag. Now you know what I'm talking about, any of you who know what Harry Potter, what I'm talking about. Okay. God, it's on the tip of my tongue too. Anyway, I can throw that out there. Are you going to immediately accept that's true? Oh, you know, Harry Potter can do this. First of all, he's a fictional character. I'd have to kind of prove he really exists first, right? Yeah, don't you think? Before you would believe that Harry Potter can do something that I can't remember the word for. You know, I'm not just going to walk around and say, oh, Harry Potter can do this fabulous thing like it's a given, and people are going to look at me like I'm nuts. I wish I could remember the word. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just tired of dealing with the same stuff. People who throw these things out like they're fact when there's nothing at all to show any of it is true. And it's like I feel like I'm like a little creature in a circus having to jump over a flaming hoop. Oh, here's the trick again. I gotta do the trick. Or the doll, like I pantomime, you know. Oh, we gotta do the thing. We have to do the speech about free will. There's no such thing as free will. There can't be free will in an all-knowing God. There just can't be. Why can't Christians understand this? Why doesn't this contradiction occur to them? I mean, it never occurred to me, so I guess, you know, but I can't explain it either. I can't explain why it never occurred to me. How can a creature who can see the future and knows everything possibly give us free will? How do those two things actually work together? Really? If God sees and knows the future, he knows before he even makes us. Every decision we're going to make, every thought and deed and action we take or have, he knows everything we're going to do. Every step from this chair to the front door that I'm going to make. Every single location I place my feet when I go there. He knows already and has known since before I was born. So when a question comes to me, somebody poses a question, he knows before I even hear the question what that question will be and what my answer will be. And he's known that since before I was born, because he's all-knowing and he sees the future. So he's laid down a plan, a divine plan, and the divine plan has been that way since the start of everything. And in the divine plan is included every single living human being's life. Every decision and thought and action and deed every single human on the planet does in their life has all been carefully woven and fitted together to form a picture. The divine plan. It's all an intricate part of an elaborate picture. So every bad thing that happens on the planet, that's part of the divine plan. That's part of the picture. That's woven into the fabric. Every bad thing, every catastrophe, every mass shooting, every catastrophic event like the 2004 tsunami, every terrorist attack, every baby that dies, every little child that gets cancer, all these things, Satan, the existence of Satan, every single thing Satan does on the planet to orchestrate all these things that need to happen to make the picture that God already had laid out before him before he made anything. So what makes Christians think that we're independent, free creatures with free will? That we could just flitter around and just make up our minds and just do what we want? How can there be a divine plan if that's true? How can any of that possibly work with the idea of a divine plan? Either he's got a divine plan and he's all-knowing. I mean, the phrase, everything is according to God's divine plan. I had that drummed into my head when I was a little kid. Everything is according to God's divine plan. The fact that he's all-knowing, the fact he can see the future, is how he was able to lay down the divine plan. So how can there be free will? You know? If you have the start of a thoroughbred horse race, and they're all lined up in the box, right? Waiting to the starting gate, waiting for the bell, waiting for the gate to burst open. They are to run this direction, all the same direction. They are to run around the track this direction. They're to come back this way. That's the divine plan of the people that set up that whole scenario. Now, if those horses had free will, they could just go whatever. They could run and go the other direction. They can run this way. They can run this way. They could jump over the fence and go into the infield. They can do whatever they want because they have free will, but then you wouldn't have a horse race, would you? So you're trying to say, Christians, that there is a horse race set up by this master creator, but the horses are free to go wherever they want to. You have free will. The jockey's just going to let your reins flop, and you have your head, you can run, you can sit, you could go over there and have some grass and have a little breakfast with that grass over there. You could run completely off the racetrack and go back to your stall if you really want to, because you have free will, but there is a horse race. Wrong. These two ideas do not work together. Anyway, I get so tired of this fucking free will thing, and that's just one of the many hoops in the circus that I have to jump through because a Christian decides to come to my channel and blather on about this bullshit that, I'm sorry, I find not only offensive, but upsetting. It upsets me that people continue, well, they have the right to spread the lie, but they don't get to do it on my channel. That's, sorry, So I have two things I don't allow on my channel now. Trolls and people who think that my channel is whatever, their platform for spewing the poison that I oppose. You don't get to preach here. You don't get to try to convert people here on my channel. So, anyway, that's all. I just wanted to say that. And atheists, I'm sorry, we gotta turn up the heat. If there's churches coming to YouTube trying to spread this filth, and I'm sorry, I do call it filth, because that's what it is. I think it's a damaging, evil lie, promoting an evil God. And in my opinion, that is a filthy, evil, poisonous thing. It doesn't get to happen on my channel. Unfortunately, it does get to happen on YouTube. So, atheists, all I can say is turn up the heat. I'm not allowing people to preach on my channel anymore. There's plenty of places they can go to preach, but they want to convert atheists. Fuck them. They're not allowed to do that on my channel. And I can't control what other people do with their channels, but I just think we need to turn up the heat. Start fighting back even harder. That's just what I think. So anyway, if you've been watching, thanks. Bye.